and Louisiana, we are 100% with you. We're praying for you. We're working closely with your leaders and officials. And I will be visiting the impact zone tomorrow to ensure that you're receiving full support and cooperation from the federal government. And on Saturday, we think we're going back to Texas, and also we will be going to Louisiana. Nothing can defeat the unbreakable spirit of people of Texas and Louisiana. Right now, every American heart sends its love and support to those whose lives have been upended, totally, by this very horrible storm. We ask God for his wisdom and strength. We will get through this. We will come out stronger. And believe me, we will be bigger, better, stronger than ever before. The rebuilding will begin, and in the end, it will be something very special. And I just want to thank everybody in the affected area, because it has been absolutely incredible to watch the spirit, the cooperation, and the love. I would also like to share a message to the people of Finland, who have recently suffered a terrorist attack in Turku.
Just heard the president there, encouragement and support for the people of Texas and Louisiana. He's now at a press conference with the president of Finland. We're going to come back to that when they take questions. But right now I want to go to Houston, where Tom Yamas is on the scene right now. He's been there all through the weekend. Tom, we see the rain continue to come down. The president says this is going to be a long, hard, and difficult road, and they're far from out of the woods yet.
George, good afternoon. The president did mention there's a lot of love right now, but there's also a lot of pain here in Houston. I want to show you this striking image. Just behind me is the outskirts of downtown Houston. We're next to the Buffalo Bayou, and you cannot tell where the river, this bayou starts and where downtown ends, because it is all completely flooded. Now, because of this, and with all the search teams from New York to California and everywhere in between, it's just not enough. So neighbors are now being forced to help neighbors. There's been a public call for anyone with a boat to get out on that boat and to help rescue their fellow residents. We were out on the water yesterday with a pair of brothers that are going house by house, trying to save as many people as they can. And in just one evening, they had done 25 to 30 rescues, carrying multiple families at a time on a boat that is probably just 15 to 20 feet, a very small boat. But that's what's needed right now. We were just on the highway trying to get to another flooded out neighborhood, and it's not just neighbors, it's complete strangers. We flagged this guy down because he had a big rig pickup truck. We were
in Baltic Sea are most important, and they are increasing rapidly. Finland is doing its part. We promote dialogue. To reduce risks, Finland has proposed steps to improve flight safety in the Baltic Sea area. They are small but positive steps in reopening dialogue between NATO and Russia. We remain committed to supporting Afghanistan, and we are a dedicated member of the global coalition against ISIS. Finland took the chairmanship of the Arctic Council from the United States in May. We can't afford losing the pristine Arctic nature. Finland firmly believes that business and environment can both be winners in the Arctic. A good example is reducing black carbon. Mr. President, I'm looking forward to even closer cooperation with you and your great nation. I want to thank you. Thank you.
So we'll take a couple of questions. How about we go to Texas? Todd Gilman. Todd?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes.
I'm wondering what you can tell the people of Texas to expect in terms of long-term recovery efforts. And in particular, you have been feuding with some key congressional leaders. You've also threatened a government shutdown potentially next month over border wall funding. Are these going to hamper long-term, the funding that will be needed long-term for recovery?
No, Todd. I think that you're going to see very rapid action from Congress, certainly from the President, and you're going to get your funding. It's a terrible tragedy. Your governor has been absolutely outstanding in the job he's done and his entire staff. And I will say that I just spoke with Greg, and he is working like 24/7. We expect to have requests on our desk fairly soon, and we think that Congress will feel very much the way I feel, in a very bipartisan way. That will be nice, but we think you're going to have what you need, and it's going to go fast. Texas is a unique place. It's a great, great state, great people, and I think you'll be up and running very, very quickly, really very quickly. So, yeah, I think you're going to be in fantastic shape. I've already spoken to Congress, and everybody feels for you and feels for what you're going through, but at the same time, they have great respect, even additional respect for the state, because you've handled it so well, so brilliantly. But it's a long road, still pouring, still a lot of rain. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. I've heard the words epic, I've heard historic. That's what it is. But you will have what you want, I think, very, very quickly. And Todd, you can ask a question to the President.
Sure, thank you. Does this situation make you reconsider the possibility of a government shutdown next
I think
month?
It has nothing to do with it, really. I think this is separate. This is going to go really very, very quickly. Again, I've spoken to many of the people we're talking about, and everybody feels the same way I do.
Thank you. And Mr. President, I wanted to ask you, your neighbor Russia has meddled in U.S. politics. They have a military exercise coming up in the next few weeks in the Baltic. There are tensions over there. What kind of advice have you offered and can you offer to the United States in dealing with this adversary?
Sir, we are not feeling ourselves as advisors, but we are feeling ourselves as doing all what is possible to maintain peace. And that is what we are doing in Baltic Sea area too. Actually, you referred to different kind of military training, which is going to happen there. I have to tell you that a couple of weeks ago I met President Putin, and there were media interested in why Chinese Navy is having a training together with Russians in Baltic Sea area. Putin answered that it is not a bloc, it's not against anybody. My answer was that we are also training in Baltic Sea with the United States and Sweden, and it is not a bloc, it's not against anybody. So we have to be very careful that this huge training, huge military trafficking over Baltic doesn't cause any accidental problems, because we know that from accidents might grow whatever. And that is why I think it's important that we continue to work with NATO to enhance, like I said, dialogue between Russia and NATO. And it is going forward.
We have a question.
Finnish broadcasting company, where you are, okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question to President Trump, if I may. As President Niinistö told, he's been raising the issue about the security situation in the Baltic region and the Baltic Sea specifically, and has been concerned about the Russian planes flying there without transponders on. So my question to you, Mr. President, would be, Mr. Trump, would you consider Russia as a security threat? Thank you.
Well, I consider many countries as a security threat, unfortunately, when you look at what's going on in the world today. As you know, a few weeks ago, our great Vice President, Mike Pence, who's right here, was in the region and spent quite a bit of time there. We consider that a very, very important part of the world. We have great relationships there. We have a great relationship with Finland. And so I would consider many countries threats, but these are all threats that we'll be able to handle if we have to. Hopefully we won't have to handle them, but if we do, we will handle them.
Can I have a follow-up, as he had also? So if the situation in the Baltic were to escalate, what would the US be ready to do in that unfortunate circumstances?
Well, we are very protective of that region. That's all I can say. We are very, very protective. We have great friends there, great relationships there. We are extremely protective. Okay. Thank you.
Sir.
A question for the President? Yes.
No. Sometimes
do you have a question for the President? Do you have a question for the President? It's all right. Somebody else can.
You don't have to.
Mr. President, Länne Media from Finland.
Okay.
Did you speak about climate change at all? And what about your, Mr. President Niinistö, initiative about cleaning up the Arctic and doing it together with the United States? What kind of response did your idea receive here in Washington, D.C.?
We discussed a lot about black carbon. And to explain to everybody, what happens is that from atmosphere, black carbon covers the Arctic. And we know what happens when sunshine meets black. It melts the ice. And the problem is not only Arctic. If we lose the Arctic, we lose the globe. That is reality. So we must fight against those emissions spreading black carbon. I understood that the United States is going to put it in half. And we know that black carbon sources are, a lot of them in Russia. They are old-fashioned energy plants producing heating. The other problem is flaring. You know that in oil fields they flare up the extra gas, and the amount is huge. Yearly they flare 40 times more than Finland spends gas. So if we can, and here comes also a business to picture, it would be a good business to renew those old-fashioned plants, to make more with less energy. It would be a business to stop flaring, to take use of that gas which is now burned for wind. And I think that these elements are such that we can continue discussing in Arctic Council. We have inherited the chairmanship from United States, and we continue the work.
We had a very good discussion, in particular on the Arctic and black carbon, and I think we have much in agreement. One of the things we also agree on, we want crystal clean water and we want clean air, the cleanest ever. Very important. So we have a lot of agreement. John Roberts, yes.
Mr. President, thank you so much. President Niinistö, I have a question for you as well, but if I could start with President Trump. In the middle of Hurricane Harvey hitting on Friday night, you chose to pardon former Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I wonder if you could tell us what was behind your thinking for issuing a pardon for the sheriff, and as well, what do you say to your critics, even some in your own party, who say it was the wrong thing to do?
Well, a lot of people think it was the right thing to do, John. And actually, in the middle of a hurricane, even though it was a Friday evening, I assumed the ratings would be far higher than they would be normally. You know, the hurricane was just starting. And I put it out that I had pardoned, as we say, Sheriff Joe. He's done a great job for the people of Arizona. He's very strong on borders, very strong on illegal immigration. He is loved in Arizona. I thought he was treated unbelievably unfairly when they came down with their big decision to go get him right before the election voting started, as you know, and he lost in a fairly close election. He would have won the election, but they just hammered him just before the election. I thought that was a very, very unfair thing to do. When I mentioned him the other night, you saw the massive crowd we had. The people went crazy when I said, what do you think of Sheriff Joe, or something to that effect. The place went absolutely crazy when I was in Arizona last week. And as far as pardons are concerned, I actually did this just before the meeting because I assumed that somebody would ask me the question. I didn't know it would be you, as you can attest. You didn't even know you were going to be called. But I thought I would. And, you know, Sheriff Joe is a great veteran of the military, great law enforcement person, somebody that's won many, many elections in the state of Arizona. But I wanted to look at some of the other people that were pardoned over the years. And if you look at, as an example, President Clinton pardoned Mark Rich, who was charged with crimes going back decades, including illegally buying oil from Iran while it held 53 American hostages, wasn't allowed to do that, selling to the enemies of the United States. He was pardoned after his wife donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Clintons. Then you have dangerous criminals. President Clinton pardoned Susan Rosenberg, a member of the Weathered Underground, charged as part of a bank robbery that led to a guard and 2 police officers being killed. Drug dealers. President Clinton commuted the sentence of Carlos Vignali, a central player in a cocaine ring that stretched from California to Minnesota. Criminal leaker. You've heard the word leaker? President Obama commuted the sentence of Chelsea Manning, who leaked countless sensitive and classified documents to WikiLeaks, perhaps and others, but horrible, horrible thing that he did, commuted the sentence, and perhaps pardoned. President Obama commuted the sentence of Oscar Lopez Rivera, who was charged as part of a violent independence group from Puerto Rico responsible for 28 Chicago area bombings and many deaths in the 1970s and 1980s. Sheriff Joe is a patriot. Sheriff Joe loves our country. Sheriff Joe protected our borders. And Sheriff Joe was very unfairly treated by the Obama administration, especially right before an election that he would have won. So, and he was elected many times. So I stand by my pardon of Sheriff Joe, and I think the people of Arizona who really know him best would agree with me. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I'd like to claim prescience that you did all the research, but I'm afraid I have to confess the question was fairly obvious. And President Niinistö, I'm sure that President Trump either briefed you today or you're aware of his new plan for Afghanistan that really relies at its core in bringing the Taliban to the table for negotiations. Given the history and the ideology of the Taliban, do you ever believe that they would honor any kind of an agreement that was ever made, or would they, when the United States and Finland and other countries leave Afghanistan, renege on that deal?
Yes. First of all, I want to underline that Finland has been involved from the very beginning to all the attempts to solve the situation in Afghanistan. We have troops there. We have also financial aid going on all the time. We have to try. We have to try in all possible ways to solve the situation in Afghanistan. It has been ongoing quite a long time, for decades. But to solve it by negotiations, surely you have to have full respect to the one you negotiate, and also full belief that what is negotiated is also fulfilled. These elements has to be all the time present when you discuss with whichever party in Afghanistan. Yep.
I know there might be a couple of more questions, but do you want to take one more? Would you want to take one more? Go ahead, pick.
Well,
Go ahead.
Please.
Again? You're going to give her the same one?
No, she's not the same lady.
Go ahead.
They are sitting side by side.
We have a lot of blonde women in Finland.
Go ahead.
Mr. President Trump, what kind of role do you see as Finland having in the U.S.-Russia relations? Do you think Finland could be of assistance, helping U.S. get better relations with Russia?
Well, I hope that we do have good relations with Russia. I say it loud and clear. I've been saying it for years. I think it's a good thing if we have great relationships, or at least good relationships with Russia. That's very important, and I believe someday that will happen. It's a big country. It's a nuclear country. It's a country that we should get along with, and I think we will eventually get along with Russia. Finland is respected by Russia. Finland has been free of Russia, really, just about one of the few countries in the region that has been for 100 years. And Russia has a lot of respect for Finland, so that's always good. But I think Finland is doing fine with Russia, and I hope that the United States will someday be able to have a very good relationship with Russia also. I think that's very good for world peace and for other things. Thank you.
As a follow-up, if Finland's relationship with Russia were to deteriorate, would the U.S., what kind of assistance would the U.S. be willing to give to Finland bilaterally if we needed it?
Well, as I said before, that our relationship with Finland is a very close one, and we're always ready to help Finland. One of the things that is happening is you're purchasing large amounts of our great F-18 aircraft from Boeing, and it's one of the great planes, one of the great fighter jets, and you're purchasing lots of other military equipment, and I think purchasing very wisely. I know all of the military equipment, and I actually agree with everything you purchased. We talked about it before. I think Finland's really a respected country militarily. It's got large armed forces for its size as a country, really proportionally probably one of the biggest in the world, if you think of it.
I guess so.
But they're very respected militarily, and they're respected beyond militarily. So hopefully it'll never come to that. Thank you.
And President Niinistö? President Niinistö, did you discuss Russia, and did you offer any assistance to the U.S. with their relationship with Russia?
Well, like I said earlier on, we did discuss about Russia, but actually, I don't feel myself or Finland being any advisor to anybody, but we try to do our best, and hopefully we get also results from that. I want to remind you that in NATO meeting a year ago, approximately, it was stated by all NATO countries that with Russia you have to be deterrents, but you have to exercise dialogue too. These two-way elements have to be there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Trey Inks with One America News. In the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, do you believe that cutting FEMA's budget is the right thing to do?
No, I think what's going to happen is the FEMA money is relatively small compared to the rebuilding money. So FEMA right now, we have the money necessary for Texas and Louisiana if we need, but the real number, which will be many billions of dollars, will go through Congress. I think it'll happen very quickly. It'll go very fast. And I want to congratulate you on the network. It's a great network.
Thank you. If I may follow up on one other question from earlier. The southern border wall, Is your plan still to have Mexico pay for the wall?
Yes, it will. One way or the other, Mexico is going to pay for the wall. That's right. It
sir,
may be through reimbursement, but one way or the other, Mexico will pay for the wall. We're right now negotiating NAFTA. In my opinion, Mexico has been very difficult, as they should be. Why wouldn't they be? They had a sweetheart deal for so many years. It's one of the great deals of all time for them, one of the worst trade deals ever signed. I guarantee you, Mr. President, Finland would never have signed NAFTA with Russia or whoever you wanted to. This is not a deal that you would want to sign. This is not a deal that Finland would know about. NAFTA is one of the worst trade deals ever signed at any time, anywhere in the world. And I can understand why Mexico is being difficult, because why wouldn't they be? They've had it their way. But no, Mexico will pay for the wall. It may be through reimbursement. We need the wall very badly. As you know, Mexico has a tremendous crime problem, tremendous, one of the number 2 or 3 in the world. And that's another reason we need it. And just to add on, tremendous drugs are pouring into the United States at levels that nobody's ever seen before. This happened over the last 3 to 4 years in particular. The wall will stop much of the drugs from pouring into this country and poisoning our youth. So we need the wall. It's imperative. We may fund it through the United States, but ultimately Mexico will pay for the wall.
If I may follow up, on Tuesday you said if we have to close down our government, we are building that wall.
Well, I hope that's not necessary.
Let me just tell you.
Yeah, I hope that's not necessary. If it's necessary, we'll have to see, but I hope it's not necessary. The wall is needed from the standpoint of security. The wall is needed from the standpoint of the drug scourge, what's coming through and through that area, through the areas that we're talking about. As you know, I have General Kelly here. We stopped traffic coming through 78%. It's going to be, I think, 81% this quarter, which is a record. In other administrations, if they stopped it just a little bit, like 1 or 2 or 3%, they considered that a great thing. We're up to almost 80%. We'll soon be over 80%. But you need the wall to do the rest, and you need the wall for the drugs. The drugs are a tremendous problem. The wall will greatly help with the drug problem, and ultimately that's a good thing for Mexico also. We have a very good relationship with Mexico, but I will say that dealing with them, I've always said, I've talked about NAFTA, you've heard me many times, and I've said that we will either terminate it or renegotiate it. We're in the process of renegotiating right now, renegotiating the deal. I believe that you will probably have to at least start the termination process before a fair deal can be arrived at, because it's been a one-sided deal. And this includes Canada, by the way. Great respect for Canada, great love for Canada. But it's been a one-sided deal for Canada and for Mexico. And the United States workers, all of these incredible people who have lost their jobs because of NAFTA, they're not going to be suffering any longer. It's been unfair for too long. So we will build the wall, and we will stop a lot of things, including the drugs are pouring in at levels like nobody's ever seen. We'll be able to stop them once the wall is up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yep, I'm here, never left.
It's a Blackish on Tuesday.
Hey! What's going on here, boy?
What's going on is Blackish on Tuesdays.
What are you talking about?
About multi-Emmy nominated Blackish, including Best Comedy. Celebrate it.
Yeah!
I'm feeling alive. Okay, so everybody understands now, right?
I think I understand. Do you? You know I don't.
All right, one more time. Blackish, all new episodes Tuesdays starting October 3rd on ABC.
Say it again.
Oh my gosh, really?
You could easily say Danielle is everything Arizona.
Just like me, she grew up in the Valley.
Went to Chaparral, was on the swim and softball teams.
Danielle is a new mom at home, and she's really our work mom.
She truly brings our morning team together.
And she bakes a mean batch of cake batter cookies.
She loves Arizona because this is home.
She is kind, she is good-hearted.
You know you can trust her, you know you can count on her, and she's just an all-around good person.
Danielle makes Arizona mornings a lot brighter.
The unexpected is happening now. Our weather is changing now. ABC 15 News is investigating now. See all of it captured on the Now Arizona. Weekdays at 4 on ABC 15.
In a world before popcorn was acceptable for dinner, when wine was just for weekends and the power of the thumb had yet to be realized, a twisty, crazy lineup was born, and Thursdays would never be the same. The original TGIT lineup is back. Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, the final season, and How to Get Away with Murder. TGIT, making the world epically awesome this September on ABC.
Amber was born and raised right here in the Valley.
She played the horn in the Salvation Army band.
Stephen, SJ, and Sadie, they all keep her really busy.
Amber is a true weather geek.
Make that a weather nerd.
She graduated from the U of A with a degree in atmospheric science and then, just for fun, minored in math.
She knows weather.
She's got the street cred and the smarts.
And that's how we get the most accurate forecast every day.
This fall, one man has been chosen for a special mission.
Me?
Yeah, we're just as shocked as you are.
You, Kevin, have been chosen to save the world.
Kevin?
Kevin Probably Saves the World premieres Tuesday, October 3rd on ABC.
Do you have the right tools to meet your financial goals? Desert Schools is teaming up with ABC 15 to bring you the Financial Fitness Zone.
Go to abc15.com/finance. You'll find practical information and smart ideas to help keep you on track.
Desert Schools, we're here for you.
Your ABC 15 Smart Shopper, taking action to save you money.
Just call me your deal detective.
She'll find you the lowest prices around.
Deals your whole family will love.
Your ABC 15 Smart Shopper, 6 a.m. weekdays.
Dan moved to Arizona when he was just 11 years old. He was all about the Wild West, and he's still telling stories. He's a history buff. You can ask him anything.
He studies everything. He is a fact finder.
Husband to Kendra and dad of 5 kids.
He is all about faith and family.
We genuinely love to hang out with them.
We are like a family that just happens to work with each other.
Dan makes Arizona mornings a little brighter.
I need your script by 4
a.m.
Make a list of everyone who's capable of taking your daughter. You have no idea who you can trust.
Mama, I want to come home.
10 Days in the Valley premieres Sunday, October 1st on ABC.
Predators better pray.
Crime Watch Daily, weekdays at 3 on ABC 15.
I'm ABC 15's Amber Sullins. Make sure to stay hydrated this summer. Drink 8 ounces of water 8 times a day, and even more if you're physically active.
This water hydration tip is brought to you by ABC 15 and Whitewater.
We are CenturyLink. We believe in the power of the digital world. The power to connect small towns, big cities, and even bigger dreams. And that's what drives us every day. CenturyLink.
Marvel's Inhumans, debuting on IMAX screens September 1st, premiering on ABC September 29th.
Iris is our morning weather geek.
She's always been amazed by the power of Mother Nature, especially our summer monsoon storms.
She grew up in the Valley, Creighton Elementary, Camelback High School.
The first in her family to graduate college.
Earning a full scholarship to ASU.
As a team, we are all really close.
Dan even officiated her wedding.
Iris has experience forecasting all kinds of weather.
From tornadoes, blizzards, she has covered it all.
And it's that experience that helps bring you the most accurate forecast.
ABC 15 Arizona is taking action everywhere, wherever news happens. From Goodyear
There goes that news van again.
to Tempe,
There goes that news van again.
ABC 15 taking action everywhere.
He sees things and analyzes things in ways that we can't even begin to understand.
He saved his life. Who are you? I'm Dr. Sean Murphy.
Chris is a serious news junkie. We even call him the historian of breaking news. He comes from a football family.
His dad, his brothers played from college to the NFL.
His football coach in Alabama even suggested a career in journalism. He likes to ask a lot of questions.
He's a proud dad of 3 boys. Family is always first.
But his job is a close second, always up on what's happening. With Christopher on our team, you're going to get breaking news first and get it right the first time.
It appears as if Courtney Rose is mayor of Fort Gray, California.
I hired a few staffers. These boys know Fort Gray inside and out.
And if I needed a pizza delivered in 60 minutes or less, they would be my guys.
I can do it in 12.
Get your hands in the air. It ain't a party tonight.
Do you have the right tools to meet your financial goals? Desert Schools is teaming up with ABC 15 to bring you the Financial Fitness Zone.
Go to abc15.com/finance. You'll find practical information and smart ideas to help keep you on track.
Desert Schools, we're here for you.
We are CenturyLink. We believe in the power of the digital world. The power to connect small towns, big cities, and even bigger dreams. And that's what drives us every day. CenturyLink.
Steve is serious about the news, but he doesn't take himself too seriously. Has all these random talents. Steve is a great dad, even when it comes to his pets. Started his career at his college newspaper, the Badger Herald. He is constantly reading. We call him our walking encyclopedia. So when it comes to news, he's the kind of guy you want on your team every day. Katie is our hometown girl.
Went to Saguaro High, proud ASU Sun Devil.
Little known fact, Katie started right here at ABC 15 as an intern.
On a kid show.
Can you imagine a world without movies?
She's a mom with a devoted dad and 2 great kids.
You're not going to find anybody who cares more about the people and the stories that we tell.
Katie knows Arizona, and she brings it every day.
Starting October 3rd, all new episodes of Blackish are on Tuesdays.
Hey! What's going on here, boy?
What's going on is Blackish on Tuesdays.
What are you talking about?
About multi-Emmy nominated Blackish, including Best Comedy.
Celebrate it. I'm feeling alive.
Okay, so everybody understands now, right?
I think I understand. Do you? You know I don't.
All right, one more time. Blackish, all new episodes Tuesdays starting October 3rd on ABC.
Say it again.
Oh my gosh, really?
You could easily say Danielle is everything Arizona.
Just like me, she grew up in the Valley.
Went to Chaparral, was on the swim and softball teams.
Danielle is a new mom at home, and she's really our work mom.
We'll get it back in. Yeah, so if you look over to if you go to your right, Charles, that's where our car is back there. So yeah, this is the dry spot. But I don't know, do you guys know where you're going to go from here?
I think we're maybe getting dropped off at HEB. We're going to head back to Dallas-Fort Worth, and then in a couple days when it lowers back down, we'll head back out here and start helping again.
But you were here to help.
Yeah, thought we were going to be here for about 2-3 weeks, and yeah, now they're pulling us out. We can't do anything or get anywhere. So
even the people helping need rescue. What were you doing in particular to help?
Just guarding stores that were maybe flooded.
Security company.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple JP Morgan places,
okay.
Home Depot, places like that.
Doing security. Well, be safe. I'm glad you guys got out. Safe travels back to Dallas. But yeah, you see them with all their luggage heading off. So we certainly hope that they have a safe ride, a way to get back that way. But this is just one of many stories. A lot of people flooded, and even the people that came here to assist now, having to be evacuated themselves. So we definitely want to make our way to the hospital. So we are working to do that, but I know they have more people that are trying to get out of that hotel in particular. So we'll send it back to you guys. Thank you. I'll leave the mic up and stay quiet.
People out here to take the luggage when we bring it out. I got a pickup truck. That's where we take it to. We'll figure that out. You want to bring luggage? Yeah. Right up over here. I'll back my truck up in there. We can load it up in there. It ain't going to stay dry, but. That's okay. It'll be grinding in here. You can get up in there. I'm going right here. Yeah. He's going to pull his truck up there.
All right. They were routing us, so if anything happens, I mean, you don't have to shoot, but
okay. I got it. You okay? I'm never worried about grass birds. Golly. That would happen. No, that's the last thing I worried about. Wow. You got to put them in those fires up there? pair of pliers up there? I have a fishing boat. Y'all kind of get where you can get a grip on something.
Oh, okay.
If we hit something.
Oh, yeah, good idea. I'm going to sit down for a second. Thank you.
Don't be throwing me my grip.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I'll put on a... Oh, yeah, no, that's okay. I'm okay. I'll make sure that...
You can't get much wet.
It's true.
I can't swim, so don't expect me to just bail off. He's a swift water rescue, but he can't swim. We can't hurry, that's the thing. If we take a hurry, we're going to... Well, I mean, there's a boat here. Uh-oh, you got the beer paper. Okay.
Oh my God. Uh-oh. The tail is up.
All right, y'all got it. Step on that side. Well, it's all kinds of people.
A lot of people, huh?
Yeah. Old, young. We just had a little baby right now. I just
Oh, a baby.
Yeah, baby, a few months old.
What are we going to put him in the front or the back?
For the step.
All right, okay. Y'all got it?
Yeah, we got it.
All right.
Oh. Hey, sweetie.
Don't get too round, but it's not long.
I know. Are you okay, ma'am? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Thanks. Y'all know anything about this hospital school?
Huh?
Y'all know anything about this building?
I don't. I just know that hospital was evacuating, but I don't know about this one. I don't know if it's open or...
On the other side.
Here, I'm gonna get out of the way, okay? Oh gosh, are you okay, sir?
Well, I just right here, man. Okay. Let you get up there.
Oh goodness. Where are you guys?
How many more?
Give me a couple of more. You still got quite a few in there.
Okay.
Hey, how many more you got?
You'll get through?
Probably take it maybe 20 somewhere.
Okay.
Can I sit to you?
No, please right up here for me. You need to be up here. You're okay. All right, we're gonna get a couple of more.
Okay.
He's going to get them now.
Okay.
When we unload, I need to put all this stuff up in the front. Now we won't put it in there. Bad reaction.
What about that live well?
I can get it
Oh
all.
my goodness, I'm sorry. This is awful.
Where's my truck?
Up there?
Well, somewhere up there. I'm not too worried. I'm worried about getting it back on.
I am too. Hopefully they'll be enough people to help push it up there.
Maybe. I have to get a big. I got big 4-wheel drive.
You did not expect this, I'm sure. It's from the Ivory Coast. Oh, goodness. You're on vacation here?
No, actually I live in Dallas. Yeah, I lowered a little bit.
Oh, okay.
My parents were just visiting.
Oh, no.
It all got crazy 2
It
days
did.
ago.
Oh, awful. Oh, I'm glad you guys are okay.
Yeah.
Scary.
It's fine, it's just
Yeah, it is
Those
bad.
guys sent me a number to a local dispatch. It's on my phone, it's on the truck.
Okay.
But he said they know pretty much where everybody needs to go.
Okay.
And they're driving the evacuation trucks. They don't have any boats.
Okay.
Oh, there's more people coming to help?
He said he was going to call their dispatch and see.
Sweet, okay. Oh. Sorry, do you room up there? Oh, thank you. Can you room over there?
Don't put me on camera.
There's somebody in a wheelchair out on the fourth floor. We can handle that too. When we'll do that when we don't have so many on here. Ready? All right, we'll go unload. We'll come back.
Well, I guess I need to go.
Huh?
I guess I need to go.
Yeah.
So where my bags at?
Hello? Hello? I'm sorry, you're looking for what, ma'am? Oh, okay, you need a rescue or?
Jackson bass. Old things get the boat. There you go. Forward a little bit. Okay.
How many more trips? We're fixing to launch this boat.
They said they got like 4 or 5 more people in there.
That's it?
I mean, people who are hotel.
Hey, Brian, we've only got like 5 more people coming out.
Yeah, y'all hang on here for a minute. Because I tell you what, I'm going to have there. You guys, if you don't go down over there, so we're here to help.
Hello. How are you guys? Good. Are you guys from Houston?
Yeah, we're from Houston. How did you know to stop there?
That's awesome. Well, thanks for helping
Because
us.
we drove 5 hours to get here to help, and it seems like everybody's on their own, so we came to help.
St. Luke's flooded over here. They're evacuating. Is that why you guys came over here? Yeah. Yeah. I know. We're hoping to go back there.
How deep is it over there?
I don't know. It's pretty bad. I mean, up there it was like up to here when I was getting on.
Really?
The boat over there. Yeah, when we parked over there and get launched in the boat.
Just up the road there.
So there's only 5 more.
Park's a friend of mine.
Hey, there's only 5 more people. I got 3 more boats. 2 more.
He's going to need 4 boats.
No, that's it. There's 5 more people.
Well, they said 20. We got 2 boats. We probably got enough boats. They're evacuating everybody.
How many people we have pulled up? They're all right.
There's only 5 more people here.
We got hey, Dave, let's go to another location. Somebody needs our help somewhere. This ain't it. We happen to know where the nearest fire is.
The Lincoln Point, there's a church over here. The church, I heard on the radio there.
If we can drive there, then I can carry 1 passenger with me, and I can carry other people in the bed of the truck.
That's that church that we came by over. What road is it? That's it. You ready to get loaded?
They told me that there are a line of ambulances over there, so the boat can go that way as well.
Okay.
I just brought someone down from the fourth floor. Actually, I think that's her son.
Hey, guys.
Let's see. Wheelchair.
Gina?
Do they have someone transporting them over there?
Yes.
So you're going over toward the...
Yes, yeah, we're going to go toward the ambulance. Okay.
For the...
You want to get the wheelchair people now, or what?
Her son just left. The rest of their family's getting together, so we'll take them all at once.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and take some more then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take them.
All right.
I left, I parked her on the second floor in the stairwell, so I get the rest of their family together.
Okay. That'll work. All right, Colton. Bring them on.
Keep them away from... Do you turn your...
Yeah.
That way? Prop. The other way, the other way. There you go.
Right here. Watch that step. There we go.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
The leg is right over my knee.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. My face cut now. Hold on. Okay. Here. Yes. We are still at that hotel. Did you get on okay? We are still at that hotel. They're actually rescuing more people. There's a couple of people that are in wheelchairs that they're working to get down here, and then they're going to take them over to ambulances. And I believe the ambulances, they said there's ambulances around here that will take the boat to, so that may be towards St. Luke. We are in a medical center over here, so there's some people that obviously need some medical attention. I think one person, from what I hear, maybe injured their knee pretty badly. So I don't know if that's part of the problem or why they need that attention. But people here at this hotel now getting on. There's a whole bunch of people still inside, and this family just got here. Are you guys okay?
Yeah. A little startled. But
okay.
We're thankful that you all came.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, and I see that you're expecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. And who's this little one? Hi, sweetie.
Say hi.
Hi. So where are you guys from? Where are you from?
Originally, we just moved here a year ago from Chicago. So,
we were waiting out the storm here, or what made you come here?
Yeah, well, we moved here a year ago. So we actually live about 10 minutes away, and our apartment's underwater. So we got stranded trying to get back, and we ended up stuck here.
And now
our house were all flooded, so we just so happened to try to come this way in the 249, and we saw people getting stopped. So we came up in the parking lot, and we were like, well, we might as well. We were looking for a hotel. It just so happened this to be a hotel. So
yeah.
And just waited.
And now this flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about all this? I mean,
we probably won't be staying in Houston. It's just very unfortunate because we don't have anything. You know, we lost everything in our apartment. It's just really unfortunate.
Well, I'm so glad you guys are okay, and I'm so glad help came, and I know they're trying to get some more people. They said that they're trying to get some, I think they're taking them over to the hospital. Did you all need medical attention? Are you okay? Or?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm all right.
Okay. I know they said that they were trying to get some people that are in wheelchairs on here as well. I think that they might need some medical attention, and I can't even imagine being in that situation. I'm so grateful you all are okay. But I think they're trying to get the boat situated to actually get them on right now. There's another boat showing up here. Do you know, were there a lot of people still inside?
Honestly, everybody pretty much stayed to their room. But I'm sure they were going knocking door to door to check on us every now and then. But
So it seems like a lot of people had already gotten out.
Yeah, they were traveling, but when we heard that there could have been, you know, alligators and stuff in the water and snakes, we didn't even take the chance.
Oh yeah, well that's frightening. Certainly to hear that. It looks like they might be taking that. Are they trying to take that? Is that the boat they're going to use to try Captain Sam? Are they trying to take that one closer for the people in the wheelchair? Or do you know?
They're going up to get them now and trying to get the whole family and take them over here to where the ambulances are. I can't see them from here, but somewhere over here.
So this is Captain Sam, by the way. He is actually a volunteer firefighter who came here and from an area not too far from Waco, just on his own to help out and try to help all of these families that need assistance here, and just happened to stop here along 249 and you know, St. Luke's, which we're right near. We haven't made it quite over there yet. Is under an evacuation, and all of the patients are being evacuated, and you can see why. It's behind us in the hotel, just completely surrounded. And it's just really sad to hear that a family that lost everything, that came here to seek refuge, is now flooded once again. I mean, and we're just seeing these terrible, terrible stories, and you know, and saying nowhere to go, no, they don't know what to do, and it really just breaks your heart. I mean, and you know, we've talked about how resilient kids are, and look at her, she's just smiling and happy, and I'm glad that they have their family, and that's when you really realize what's important, that you have each other and you have one another, and it's pretty incredible. This is hard stuff to see, guys. You know, it's pretty hard to see all this. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine. And then for the people that are, you know, and having those physical demands, the people that are in the wheelchair, I know they're really trying to strategically figure out how to get them on the boat and how to get them downstairs and how to get them outside. I can't even imagine that. So imagine losing everything, and then you have these this situation where it's even just harder to be mobile. I can't even imagine. I'm sorry? Are they praying? Oh, were you just praying? You were praying? Oh, they were just praying. What were you saying?
Just thanking God that, you know, we had a lot of friends and family that were looking out for us, checking in on us, and whoever reached out and said that we were here and needed help. Thank you guys for coming to get us, you know. We didn't know how long this was going to last, what we were going to do, what we were going to eat.
What do you think about these are just complete strangers showing up here?
We're just grateful that you guys are here. I mean, it just makes us feel like, you know, everybody's together on this. It doesn't really matter what's going on, you know, outside of, you know, this whole situation, that everybody's together.
Yeah. Well, you heard it from her. I mean, it is everybody helping everyone out. We're all in this together, guys, and we'll be in touch with you as these evacuations continue.
No, you're good, I got it.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, see, it won't shut off.
Did he get it?
Mommy, there's more water in my shoes.
So cute.
And I'm frozen. Yeah, I can't. I'm going to protect my mouth and my nose. Still running?
The guy in the wheelchair is coming out. Yeah, the guy in the wheelchair is coming out right now. Can you hear me? Yeah. Who did?
They're coming to get him in the Jeep.
That's beautiful. This pastor just called the station after seeing you and offered to provide shelter for you and your family.
Oh, thank God.
That,
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, can you get me that information? You'll send me the phone number? Okay. They'll send it to me, okay, guys?
Yes, thank you.
She's gonna email it to me. God bless you. And thank you, Katie. What is and what's your family's name?
My name is Tanika Guerin.
Tanika Karen? Tanika?
Guerin.
Guerin. So it's the Guerin family.
And Seals.
Seals. The Guerin and Seals family?
Yes.
God bless you guys.
Thank you so much.
Do they need help over here? Do they need?
Mommy, you got ice on you.
Okay.
That shut it off?
Get everybody up front so that they don't draw that much water. Just ease it along.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong?
Get that his power filter walk down. Do the manual release and then walk.
Shot us live. You're live. Okay.
Do you have another pin?
Where was that?
Just like that. It's sticking out, but put a lot of weight up front.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and bring them on.
All right. All right, we're ready. There's a Jeep coming.
Okay, all this needs to come forward with you people. You'll put it up on the very front somewhere.
What is your, do you have an email address I can send you with their number?
Yes, T is in Tom.
T.
G is in George.
G. E.
R.
R. R.
O. N is in Nancy.
O. N.
At gmail.com.
Come forward. For just a minute.
TGERRON at gmail.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
The right side.
You gotta come in this way.
The big one.
I can't read that
Small one. Wow.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
I'm going that way.
Yeah, I'm going. Me and I are neighbors.
How many more we got to put on here?
They're going into that truck.
Okay.
You're putting them in the truck.
I'm gonna see if I can get some more people. Okay. Get some more people from upstairs.
I keep trying to grab that camera and throw it up front. I think it's a bag. There you go.
Let's try to get over.
You want to get out?
I told him to shuffle him in the wheelchair over there. There's no sense in Oh, that's there. It'd be harder on him to try to load him in this and then unload him over there.
Yeah.
I know he's getting wetter.
I can hear you, yes. Yes, they are actually having...
You need to go back.
I'm sorry?
Come on, come on.
Yeah. No, we're actually, that's a clinic right there next to the hotel. We are at the hotel. That man was staying at the hotel, and now they are carrying him to higher ground. And do you know what the plan is from here as they are carrying him out?
No, there's supposed to be some ambulances back on the other side, I was told.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure.
Okay, so that was the thought, that there is ambulances over in those grounds. That's what I thought too. They're trying to carry him to that location. But yeah, that just shows you how incredible and amazing and kind these people are. Just complete strangers carrying that man to safety, to dry land. And I don't know how far the journey was taking them. I know they were trying to initially put him in a Jeep here that was closer, that was able to drive on the water, but now it looks like they've actually decided to carry him closer, and I know they want to get him medical attention. We were told on the other side of that building there are ambulances. Themselves may be in floodwater. If that's the case, I don't know what the exact plan is, but certainly to get him in a vehicle, I would assume. were going to put him in, and I think they just carry him over, and now it looks like they're backing up, you know, load him into that car, because I think they were trying to load him down here. We're right by the side door of the hotel, and vehicle hopefully can make it. Might have to be the strategy if they can't get to those ambulances, but that is a clinic, so the hospital's being evacuated, so I don't think they could really take him there, right? So that's a concern. And we have another woman. I'm sorry? Yeah, looks like she had her, well, good thing she's getting sat down here. But yeah, you can see that vehicle that you're looking at right now to load him. I think that was part of the plan. So it looks like they're trying to, at least it looks like they're getting him out right now. Individual, from what I heard, inside still in this hotel, that's in a wheelchair. So this situation was likely to be repeated.
The ear's leaking? Yeah.
Picked up. The pregnant woman from the family that was just, yeah, yeah, I have her. Why, do you need to talk to her, or? I will make sure I get it spelled right. Do you need that for the interview for later? Oh, okay, yeah, let me get her spelling for you. I have her name, but I don't want to spell it wrong. Okay, you ready? I'm gonna have him spell it for you right now. Are you ready, Doug? Okay, ma'am, will you spell your name for us, or getting it for us? T-A-N as in Nancy, I-K-A. Last name G-E-R-R-O-N as in Nancy.
Okay. Did you get that, Doug?
Our car is underwater.
Okay, I'm sorry. Your first name one more time. Can you say and spell it for us?
T as in Tom, A-N as in Nancy, I-K-A.
Tanika.
G-E-R-R-O-N as in Nancy.
G-E-R-R-O-N. And the husband's name. Can I get your name, sir?
Christian.
Christian. Can you spell Christian for us?
C-H-R-I-S-T-I-A-N.
Okay.
Last name Seals. S-E-A-L-S.
Okay. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Doug. Okay, so you should have my email. Let me call you, so if you don't get it, you have my number. I'm going to text you. Let's see, what's your number, ma'am? 773-920. Oh, wait, you know what? Okay, 773-920. 920 0011. Okay, thank you, Tanika. God bless you. If you don't have the pastor's number, text me, and I will make sure if you didn't get the email, okay? And he was going to take care of you. And if you need another family contact with me, wanting to help you too. I think they were just so moved by your prayer and your family, so God bless you. And if there's anything you do, please let me know. I'm going to text you right now. Save my number, okay? God bless you guys. God bless you. It's nice to meet you guys.
What a cast on her foot or something?
Yeah, well, had a meeting or something.
We got the scooter up a little bit.
Yeah. Back. Yeah, we can pull up a little bit.
Yeah. Hey man, we're gonna go ahead and scoot when we get them off and scoot you on us. Put the boat up some, so we can go ahead and get you off, all right?
Alright. Is this your last trip? Your trailer? Sir, is this your last trip? I don't think so. You're going back? Yeah. Copeland?
Yeah.
How many more we got?
They told us 20.
20 maybe?
Yeah. But they told us that 2 loads ago.
The other boat shoveling them over there? Yes, they took them over there. Mostly they canceled. Okay,
You wanna move it up some more?
I think that'll work.
Can you get up?
Let's get her off right here off the edge right here. There we go. Got it?
Thanks for the ride.
Y'all need some extra help out there?
Maybe we won't have to do this.
A whole bunch of guys helping. Barely need help right here.
All right.
Hey, I'm putting all these life jackets up. It's not deep. I'm putting all these life jackets up.
Yeah.
It's not deep enough for them.
Might get them more room.
If somebody falls down, all I got to do is stand up.
Oh, so sad. Well, after people saw our story, well, it won't come to the right with the help of God.
And they say there's not any good people left in there. Yeah,
A lot of good people. Just like you, Pastor Sam.
I've been through here. I'm going to Porter Ranches for about 2 months.
Ooh.
And help down there. ahead and bring her on in there.
Yeah, you might be able to. If we move that bag,
you don't have to worry about anything going up.
Maybe slide that seat forward. Lean that seat forward. There you go.
Huh? Oh, really?
Go ahead. All right, clear? Clear.
Oh, talk to them.
That Silverado? That white Silverado is...
Okay.
Yeah. Well, these folks are from the Hyatt place, which is right near the hospital. We're just off of 249, right near St. Luke's, which was evacuated. And right now, they basically have been picking up people. We've probably done, I don't know, 5, 6 trips here. And now they're taking a family off. I just talked to them. They're from Corpus Christi, and they came here because of the storm, trying to get away. And now look what they're going through. Very, very devastated. And really upset. You can see they have somebody that is in a wheelchair, and they're working to get her off right now. And some just wonderful, amazing people. I'm doing some very brave things today. And these are all just people that have done this on their own, just volunteered, getting her off right now. You can see getting her to a safe place. I'm sure it's just absolutely terrifying for all of these families. I can't imagine. And I'm so glad they had a truck waiting for them. And you see this line of cars right here, by the way. After you look at this, I want to show you the line of cars. I want you to see her be able to get on safely. But there's a line of cars, and it's not because because of flooding. It's because people are responding to the boats. There are people that have been out on boats here rescuing people, and this line of cars of people, just complete strangers, saying, hey, I have room for someone. You can come here. You can come here. You come here. They just kind of started coming here and stopping and just taking people to higher ground, taking them wherever they need to go. And these are just complete strangers just stopping along 249 to assist those families. So even people, if they don't have a boat, they're finding a way, anything they can do to help out. And this is just another example of that. You can see they're getting her, working to get her inside of that vehicle. Really amazing. We're told there's more people inside that hotel still too, that they're going to go back and continue to work to get out. But yes, St. Luke's as well evacuated because of all this. Now earlier, I do want to give you an update. I don't know if you remember, we talked to a family, a woman, and she was praying with her children, Miss Guerin, and people had saw that, and they were so compelled by her and her story. And she's also expecting another little one, and she had the cutest little daughter. And she was praying with us and praying with Houston. And they were evacuated from their apartment nearby and stayed at this hotel, and then had to evacuate again. And she said, we have nothing. And I just really want to thank our viewers. This just shows how amazing Houston is. Several people reached out after hearing her story and their family's story, and now have offered her home. In fact, a pastor, I think they're going to contact him, that offered his home to their family, so they have a place to go tonight. So I do want to give you an update on the Guerin family. And thank you, Houston. Thank you for all that you've done and the response. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, just people lining up just to give rides. It gives you goosebumps. It really is amazing. And now these guys are going back out again, to rescue more people. I mean, just nonstop. And in fact, I was just talking to the volunteer firefighter who is running the boat here, and he said after that he's going to continue. He's going to go. What are your plans after Houston? You said you're going to keep going to help.
Well, I'll go on to the coast, but I don't think I can even get in down there right now for the roads. It may be a week. I'll have to load up all of my tools and stuff, and then I'll go down. I've got an RV I'll take down there for a month or two and help them clean up.
That's just truly incredible. I mean, he's not done. You know, he came down here from a town about 70 miles from Waco, a small community, as a volunteer firefighter, and just going to keep going and making sure everyone's taken care of. And it truly is incredible.
Hey, slow down for a second.
What we're seeing out here today.
Here, I'll catch you up.
Yeah, a lot of them have been stopping, just offering, hey, we have a boat, we can stop, that's what this guy's saying right now. He's saying, hey, I have a small boat in the back. I have, different people just saying, do you need a ride? What's going on? I mean, this group of people right here, this group of people just offering to help. Hi, sir. You said you have a boat over there? You have a boat over there?
Yeah, we have a small boat. We get about 2 or 3 at a time.
Oh, yeah, watch the front of that boat. Okay, we're kind of floating off here. But yeah, all of these people right here, that they just stopped, just doing anything that they can to help. And this is amazing. I mean, literally lining up to help, because you can see traffic's moving on the other lanes just fine. It's you know, people are just wanting to help. People are stopping and pulling over off the freeway. It's incredible. I mean, this is we really can't say enough. We're all in this together. We keep saying that, but it's so true. I mean, people that have they've experienced flooding. I mean, the first responders that have had to evacuate their homes and are worried about their families, and then I know our coworkers have been in the same situation, and you know, they're all out here doing whatever they can, and it's truly remarkable. Now we're passing by that hotel. That's the one, Art, Melanie, that flooded. That they've been evacuating, and then to the left is a medical center where they actually carried somebody earlier that was in a wheelchair, and there was about 6 people or so that actually physically walked him over to that area that he was inside the hotel. No, it's been evacuated, and we were actually kind of making our way over there, and as we were, then we saw these people that were kind of waving us down saying, hey, we need help. So we've been stopping and, you know, helping all the people out of the hotel as we can, but really sad for you know, some of the families here that really this is where they sought shelter after their house was flooded, and then they're experiencing it again. I just can't imagine getting hit twice. But see all the people carrying luggage right there? So those are the people inside of the hotel, and there are a number of people here just helping people evacuate and get out.
Said that there's 5 rooms of their staff left and 1 doctor and his equipment. Okay, that should be it. All right. I'm pretty good. I'm warm right now. Let me see it. This one? Those one? The whole thing. There you go.
HPD, fire department, going in, rescuing people, bringing them back to some safe location, putting them out, and then going back in. And nobody's kept count. I mean, the count isn't the important thing. It's getting people out of dangerous situation, and that's occurring. Clearly, there's still a lot of people that need to be rescued. We don't know how many. But we're going to work that. But I mentioned that process because that's something that we've been working on today. Before I start, I will say that County Commissioners Court will have an emergency meeting later this week. But one of the things we are going to do, we have announced that the county government will be closed until Tuesday, September the 5th. Now, Harris County has 17,000 employees, roughly. A lot of those are in law enforcement. They're going to continue to do their jobs and be fully engaged. A lot of them are tied to public health. Activities like that clearly need to continue. The commissioner's employees are working, so they'll continue to work. I mean, they have jobs to do, and the truck drivers and the maintenance people will continue doing those things. But there are a lot of county employees who won't be able to go to the downtown buildings. The downtown buildings won't be functional. So rather than do what's normally done, to where county employees are told, well, you can use your comp time or your vacation time, we want all those county employees who are not otherwise engaged in their normal job activities, or those that are assigned by their supervisors, like the commissioners, we want them to go to work for the residents of Harris County. We have shelters to be volunteered in. We have other activities related to disaster relief, and we are developing a form so that they will fill out that form, sign it, and say these are the things we did, and we will continue to pay them. They will then be working truly, as they always do, but more directly for the residents of Harris County. That's a new system, but I think in this event that will pay huge benefits. We are, and I've talked to the mayor, we are working on exactly how to handle donations. The mayor made an announcement, Mayor Turner made an announcement, I believe yesterday, about a fund, and we're going to go jointly into a fund so that those people who want to donate to relief fund for Harris County and the city of Houston will be able to do it. It doesn't make any sense for the county to have a fund and the city to have a separate fund, and so he and I agree on that, and that we'll be making announcements about that. And I hoped, but we didn't quite get it all done, I hope to be able to give a phone number so that people could call that number and make their donations, whether it's a cash donation or a goods, supplies, or even manpower. We're going to track all of those, and we hope to have that announcement ready to go early tomorrow. Now, back to the people who are being evacuated from their neighborhoods, from flooded homes. As I mentioned, because of the extreme circumstances, law enforcement did what they should do. They got people out of danger, went back in to get more people. Now we have to find where all the people who were moved out of danger are. And so the law enforcement desk here in the Emergency Operations Center is putting together those locations. Whenever we know that there are people who have been rescued, we need to make sure that they then get to a shelter. And the way we're going to do that is our planning department is going to basically put together a logistical supply chain in reverse. And what we're delivering are people. We're going to deliver people to shelters. And the way that will work is the planning department will take the information from the law enforcement desk here. They will match those locations up to the nearest shelter to where those people live. And then Metro, Chief Lambert at Metro, will be not him personally, but he's volunteered to set this up. We will contact Metro. Metro will take their buses, and then they will make sure that people get to shelters. It has been unfortunate that there have been some people who spent all day today outside of a shelter. They were out of danger officially, but they were stranded, and that's not a good situation, and we've got to make sure that that ends as soon as possible. The other point of this is we would like to get people into the shelters that are closest to their homes for a lot of reasons. Number one, it allows them to maintain their contacts. If schools open next week, and I'm not making any announcements for the ISDs, but if they do, then we'd like for it to be convenient for the children to be able to go to the school where they were going before without being in some shelter all the way across town. I think that's very, very important. It's also important for people to be near where they work. And so we're trying to match all this up, and it will be it's a fairly simple thing to do, but it takes a lot of manpower and putting all those together. So that's our plan for people who have been taken out of danger and basically stranded somewhere. Hopefully, after this first few days, law enforcement will be able to bring people out, and immediately then they can be sent to one of the shelters. Speaking of the shelters, shelters were announced by the Red Cross and by others. Many of those shelters have yet to receive a full complement of supplies. That is now being handled tonight. The Red Cross has 53-foot trailers that are being pulled shelter to shelter, and cots and blankets. We're making sure that all the shelters are fully stocked. We are now able to get to the food bank, and the Emergency Operations Center here has started using trucks from the county commissioners, from the sheriff's department. Again, I've talked to Mayor Turner. He's going to get city trucks, and they're going to go to the food bank and start delivering food for these shelters throughout tonight. We're going to make sure that happens. There are also some hot meals that are being produced by some restaurants for the Red Cross. The Red Cross is going to see that those get delivered to certain shelters. The Red Cross also has supplies in their facilities of the meals ready to eat, the heater meals as we call them. Again, we're going to supply the trucks for a variety of reasons. The Red Cross didn't have the assets to do that. We're going to make that happen because we cannot leave people in shelters without adequate food. We've got to make these people comfortable, and we've got to make these people comfortable quickly, not just safe, but comfortable. So that's going on. The final thing I would comment on, because anybody who's been through a hurricane or an emergency like this, we always have to have the points of distribution. We know how widespread this event has been, so we know that we're going to have to set up the pods so that people who are still in those neighborhoods will be able to get supplies, because there are quite a few that probably won't have access to groceries, won't have access to adequate water supplies. We have to work with FEMA and the state of Texas. The state of Texas is already sending the trucks down. For those of you who were here during Hurricane Ike, you remember they were staged out at NRG, then Reliant parking lot. A couple hundred trucks a day would come in, then we'd send those supplies out. We can't set up the pods yet because we're still in the rescue phase, and frankly, the roads are not passable enough to do that. But we are already starting that planning, so in case anybody asks, will there be points of distribution, the answer is yes. The locations will be announced as we open them. Following hurricane experiences in the past, we had pre-planned potential locations, knowing that we would only open those that were in an area that needed them. As soon as we get that list together, we'll start putting that information out. So with that in mind, that's what we've been working on today. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Nothing? Yes, ma'am.
We were wanting to know about possible damage to the downtown Harris County buildings. Do you know anything about this?
Yes. I'm smiling not because there was damage to the buildings. Clearly there's water in the tunnels and those types of things, but we also get reports. And so there was a report that there had been a collapse in the juvenile, well, a ceiling tile fell out because there was a leak. It wasn't exactly a collapse of a building. And so we always have to track those things down.
So it wasn't anything criminal then?
No, it wasn't.
Did the new doors that they installed down there help at all?
The new doors helped a lot, but again, the level of this flood just kind of overwhelmed that whole, not completely, but there are parts of the tunnel system, and that's why will be closed this entire week, at least.
Regarding the shelters, the timing of how long they'll be available, obviously recognition of how many homes are damaged, how long people will be out.
You know, there's been no decision about how long they will be available, but I guess the logical answer is they will be available as long as necessary. in order to take care of the residents of Harris County. There have also been some outreach from other counties that have not been part of the storm, and they are offering to set up shelters there. Those would be very specialized because, again, experience from past hurricanes particularly, if you can keep people close to their community so that the kids can stay in their schools and the parents can continue to work in their jobs, that goes a long way toward normalizing life.
Judge, the rain keeps coming. I know some of these bayous have gone down, but do you have resources in place if those bayous were to spill over the banks and go into people's homes? Are you better equipped now with the outside resources that have come in?
We are. The National Guard is now here. Task Force 1 is here. We're getting a lot of help from the state of Texas. We're getting help from the federal government. In fact, Senator Cruz is upstairs now visiting with some of the people saying, you know, what can the federal government do? But our first task is to rescue. Our second task is to get people into shelters, and then we'll start dealing with everything else.
It's probably the less thing to worry about right now, but people have expressed concern about having court hearings or matters at the Harris County courts this week. What's going to happen?
The courts are closed this week. All of county government, all the courts. Having said that, there are circumstances where an individual judge might have a proceeding that he wants to go on with, and that could occur. But in general, no jury duty, courts are closed.
Is there any estimates yet at all as the amount of damage, in terms of money or anything else?
No. It's a staggering amount. We know that. We're well over the threshold. You know, there's always a threshold you have to meet in order to qualify for federal disaster. We're well over that. But we can't get out and do an adequate damage assessment, again, because of the road situation. I was supposed to go up in a helicopter today with flood control to see what we could see, and that didn't happen for the same reason. The weather's got to clear. And having said that, I will say that today's been a better day because the feeder bands have been off to the east, and that rain has not continued to train across us, you know, hour after hour after hour. And if we can continue that, then hopefully we'll get through this sooner rather than later.
Judge, were all of the court buildings in the complex area damaged that you know of?
I don't know the answer to that, but the tunnel system connects them all, and so that causes issues.
Jury assembly as well?
Jury assemblies underground.
Is there enough resources to do recovery, shelter, and rescue, shelter and pods?
I don't know that you could have enough resources to meet the needs that have been generated by this event. You know, I've been asked that by people from all over the country today. Gee, why don't you have more resources? Well, because there's no way we could have had the resources here to deal with an event of this magnitude. The state has sent what they can, and they've been adequate. I don't mean to downplay that. But you have to remember that another part of the state got a direct hit from a hurricane. And we're suffering, obviously, and because of the flooding. This has been a massive event for the state of Texas. So we have the resources here, and we will make them work. I guess that's the bottom line.
Judge, I saw you tweet that you no longer need people with boats. Is that correct? Any thoughts on people coming in to help out from all over the country?
Well, excuse me, I forgot to turn off my own phone. I did not say that we do not need people with boats. The first day or whatever day that was that I made that announcement, we wanted to make sure that we coordinated, that people wanted to help, they wanted to put their boats in the water and help. There is no question they saved lives. No question at all. They were coordinated through here. It was a magnificent show of humanity, if you will. We no longer need them to coordinate through us because now we do have the assets from the state. But we want to emphasize, anybody who wants to continue to be the Good Samaritan and help their neighbors, do it. It would be foolish for any government official to say, we don't want your help. We do want your help. You watch what's going on out at the hospital, on 249 in Cypresswood right now, and that hospital's being evacuated. The hotel next to it is. You see people with their boats, and they're up there helping people get out of danger. When all is said and done, those are going to be the lasting images.
Judge, any advice you can give to the folks who were flooded out when the bayous breached yesterday, but can now access their homes, that want to get in there to try and start cleaning up?
If it is safe to get in, human nature says you're going to want to get back in there as soon as you can. But if it was a circumstance where a creek or a bayou went out of its banks and is now back in its banks, and the weather forecast is such that it's probably going to stay there, that's safe. But you have to remember, so many of these watersheds go out to the north and the northwest, and as that water comes down, then it's going to feed in. It does appear it appears that most of the rain is off to the east, and now we have sympathy for those over in Chambers and Liberty and Polk County. And of course Montgomery County is having all kinds of issues right now too.
What advice do you have for a person who's thinking about volunteering? Where to start?
The first place to start is when we get these shelters up. They can use a lot of help. When the Red Cross puts up shelters, they say they will man those shelters. Unfortunately, a lot of the Red Cross volunteers are stuck like everybody else, and they can't get out. So I don't believe that they will have the manpower to fully man those, and that's why one of the reasons we made the decision about county employees. If county employees can go work in a shelter, do it. And if average citizens can go work in shelters, that would be helpful. And this week, schools are out, and if you have a school-aged child that could be helpful in there, this is no time for anybody to have any bureaucratic inertia and say, well, you're not right for this or you're not right. We need all the help we can get. Anything else?
Driving around Houston today, I noticed a lot more cars on the roads. Are you guys still urging people to stay home if possible?
I am. Simply because, you've seen it. It's been raining all day. I mean, I hadn't been out of the building for a few days, but looking out the windows, it's still raining. And if you get a thunderstorm in an area that is dry, with the amount of water we've got here, intersections could go under just very rapidly. And, in distributing the supplies to the shelters tonight, I went in and asked the question, is all of Loop 610 open? And was told no. And you have to find out, you have to plot your path carefully if you have a specific task. Well, the average person, I think, unless it's just absolutely necessary, it's much safer to stay in again tonight. Okay? Thank you all. Thank you very much.
You guys ready?